Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at crackedfemalecode.com. And this is how to turn a woman on in 60 seconds or less. Alright, so we are going to get into the nitty gritty and the juicy and all the good stuff that turns women on. And believe it or not, you're going to think that turns women on? Yes, very much. So first of all, most women do not marry because they're madly head over heels sexually in love with the man. Most of them are like, man, can't find one of those guys. Because only about 3% of men do this on some level. It's very rare, but you do bump into some men that do at least some of the stuff that I teach in my course. Now, it's not that, it's in my course. It's something that I learned over decades of studying the female mind and the mating system. And men are just not wired this way. We're just not. We're wired in the opposite way. But you can learn how to do this, and it makes women fall madly head over heels in love with you. Thus, she doesn't have to fall in love with your money, your bank account, and your house. Because if you don't know how to do this, that's the only thing she can fall in love with. And in fact, I can't tell you for how many times for 30 years, women, they'll say to me like, well, do we have a choice? They don't do this. So we go for the second best thing, and that's their money, their car, and all the other attributes. See, if you're relying on your looks, if you're relying on your height, if you're relying on your muscles, your fighting skills, if you're relying on your bank account, your car, etc., she's not falling in love with you. She's falling in love with all these external things, and they are literally the word things. And this is why women will marry you for your money. And after 7 to 10 years, they'll divorce you. They'll take half your money, your car, your fucking house, your bird, your fucking kids, your dog, everything. And they'll do it mercilessly because they're fucking pissed because they're not getting the number one thing that they want in relationships. Mentally stimulating and emotionally fulfilling communication. Now, in the course, we go in depth on how to do this, and we practice this over and over and over. And I'll work with you, and you'll take it one step at a time to get better and better at it, to the point to where you can seduce any woman at will. You can melt a woman's heart. Remember, this is actually about love. You have to learn how to open up to the right brain, the emotional processor, which means your heart. So number one, buy my book, Crack the Female Code, right now if you want to take the first step. Okay, so in this video, we're going to be going over one way to give a woman mentally stimulating communication. Remember, the first step to connecting with a woman sexually, she has to connect with you mentally first. Okay, and how do you do it? You do it through what we call mentally stimulating communication. This is equivalent to playing with her nipples or her clitoris. You know how video, porno magazines turn men on? How you get turned on? Like you look, keyword look. Because your mating system's connected to your eyes. The female mating system's connected to her right brain's communication center. Meaning, the way a woman is turned on is through her ears, through words, lots and lots of words. The more words, the more she gets turned on. Now, you're probably going to go, but Mike, this doesn't turn me on. I know, because you're not a fucking woman. You don't have a vagina. You have a penis. Your mating system is wired to your eyes. My God, man. Did you ever wonder why women love romance novels? Because it is XXX rated pornographic material. They're talking about penises, exploding orgasm, exploding in her face. You're like, but Mike, I read those. They don't say that. Now, if you quote 50 Shades of Grey, that is actually not what women would consider to be romantic, okay? It does not turn them on as powerfully as the other way. So first of all, the male brain is the direct brain. Let's talk about sex directly. The female brain doesn't like that. It actually is considered to be rude, disrespectful, and what they call crude. Meaning low level. So you get all these bullshit artists talking about, I'm a high level man. No, they're just little boys talking on a low level. They literally don't even know what it means to be a high level man to a woman. So being direct to a woman overall in daily communication and or romantic communication is considered to be very low level and crude. It's the indirect way of communicating that is considered high level. When a man learns how to do that, every woman in the room not only respects him, but wants to go to bed with him. Because this is considered high level. Because this takes a sense of class and style. It takes a sense of grace. It takes a huge sense of understanding and awareness of where she's at in the moment. Being aware of where a woman's at emotionally in the moment is absolutely key before you do any of this stuff. Otherwise, you're going to blow it. That is a completely another subject we're not going over in this video. So now this video, we're going to talk about what I call descriptive languaging. Okay, now hold on to your pants, because every guy runs when I say the next piece. I'm gonna teach you guys how to use adjectives and adverbs, and I promise you I will make it super easy. You're gonna be like, damn, that's really easy. Like it's really easy. In fact, forget about the word adjective and adverb. You don't even need to know that. It's gonna be easier than that. So let's back up one step. So the left brain, the male brain, the logical processor, is the direct brain. Says, let's talk about sex, or I want to have sex with you, and she's gonna be like, fuck you, buddy, you crude bastard. Whereas if you speak indirectly, what does indirectly mean? So women are connected to the left and right brain. Men are very stuck in the left brain. So the indirect way of communicating is you say something in the left brain, but you don't mean that. You mean something else that's literally usually the opposite of that. This is only symbolic of what she's talking about. This is an entire art, okay? I had one guy go, oh, you mean like double entendres? Like, hey, baby, do you want to lick my banana? That is not only crude, but it's considered to be very direct, which is crude, and women do. See, a lot of guys go, oh, is that what you mean? Like, nope, not even close, dude. You're literally like 1% of what I'm talking about. So here's the interesting thing. First of all, you have to speak in a descriptive way. So that's why I'm going to give this piece to you. Obviously, during the course, we're going to go much more in depth to where it becomes very fluid and it flows and it becomes natural without any thinking at all. So another thing you do is you speak indirectly. So I'm not going to teach you exactly how to do it, but I'm going to give you an idea of it. Now, let me give you this first. When you speak indirectly with a woman, okay, so I was at a sandwich shop. It was a famous sandwich shop about 10 years ago. I can't think of the name right now. But it was all over the West Coast. I'm assuming all over the United States, but maybe not. I was talking to this young lady. I think I was about 34, 36 maybe at most. She was probably about 24 years old, and she sits down at the table next to me. We're outside. You know, the sun's out. It's summertime. It's a nice day. And we start talking, and she started to flirt with me. I was like, oh, okay, well, green light. So I started doing this indirect way of talking, and I was talking very sexual, but it doesn't sound sexual at all. It sounds like we're talking about flowers and roses and talking about the weather, talking about, you know, the trees and the leaves on the trees and all that stuff. Her mom came, sat down, and was listening to the conversation, and about 10 minutes later, she leans over, reaches over, touches me on the shoulder. She goes, I am so glad my daughter met a man who knows how to be romantic. And I was just kind of biting my tongue like, holy shit. Now here's my point. We were talking about pornographic, exploding orgasms in her face, and on and on and on. And her mother is listening to this, and she just, no, this is what she said. She said, I am so glad my daughter met such a classy and respectful man who's very romantic. Now you might be going, wait, what? Classy, respectful? Exploding orgasms in her face? Huh? If you do this in the female way, you will be the guy that women are saying is classy. The guys who are nice, who pull out chairs, who open the doors, who are prim and proper, women don't have respect for those guys. They don't like them, they don't consider them to be respectful, and they don't consider them to be classy, because basically you're lying. You're just like, I'm a good boy, I want sex, but I'm not going to do nothing for it, and I'm not going to fucking give you what you want in a relationship. So you're pissing them off in so many different ways, and the messed up part about it is looking at you like you're a liar. You're not being honest, you're not being truthful about what you want, and you're not going after it in the way you're supposed to. But here's the thing, guys, our brains were not wired this way, so we can't recognize this at all unless it's taught to us, and then it has to be conditioned into you over and over and over. So this is radically different than the pickup artist courses, because the pickup artist courses are all left brain male. It's about memorizing lines and openers and stories and all that shit. We don't do any memorization because that's left brain. And when you do left brain stuff, it turns a woman off. Alright, descriptive languaging. Here we go. This is what this video is all about. Alright, it's really simple. It's adjectives and adverbs. That's it. An adjective describes a noun. House, tree, car. An adverb describes an action. He runs fast. So run would be the action. Fast is the adverb. The adverb describes the noun. Or sorry, the adverb describes the action. Okay, that's it. Class is over. Thank you very much for listening. And go out there and get laid. Now you might be thinking, wait, what? Guys, I'm telling you, it's literally that simple. I'm not joking. So I'm going to give you some examples. So a guy will usually use 0 adjectives, an adverb or an adjective, or 1. If you're lucky, and I say this to women, I go, if you're lucky, you get a whole sentence, and women laugh because men, the way we're designed is like cavemen. We're like, hey, what's up? We communicate in grunts. Even the modern male, we still do. So men basically, use like a line, which is basically a sentence, right? Or 2 sentences. And I tell women, you're lucky if you get a whole sentence. And women laugh, go, oh my God, I know men just don't communicate. Now watch this. All right, really simple. So here's how a man will express himself. A man will say, I just bought an awesome truck, or I just had an awesome vacation in Hawaii. It was amazing. It was awesome. It was cool. Oh, dude, it was fucking the best time of my life. It was amazing. 0 description. So let's pick something very specific. Okay, let's pick a truck. So a guy goes, I just bought the most awesome truck on the planet. There's 0 description there. There's zero adjectives or adverbs. Period. A woman, let's say his girlfriend or his wife or his daughter, will say, yeah, he bought a big, bright, shiny 4x4, lifted up, powerful Toyota Roadrunner, not a Roadrunner, but you're gonna runner fucking truck, right? So describe. A woman will describe things with 3 to 5 or more descriptive words, adjectives and adverbs. That's it, guys. It's that simple. I just ate a delicious strawberry. 0 descriptive words. Delicious is not a descriptive word. Sweet, sour, tangy, luscious, smooth, hot, cold. Let's make it even more simple. It's the 5 senses. See, hear, feel, smell, and taste. Run fast. You can literally see someone running fast. Like, oh, that's fast, okay? Hot, burning pan. You can feel something that's hot. You can feel something that's burning your hand. It fucking hurts. It burns. All right. So here's the thing. I'm gonna give a secret away. Women's tongues are directly connected to their vagina and their clitoris. So if you learn how to describe things in a gustatory, so olfactory is smell, gustatory is taste. So you got see, hear, feel, smell, and taste, okay? If you can describe things in a gustatory or a taste kind of way, it makes women fucking melt and get very sexual. This is called sexual stimulation. Remember, the right brain is directly connected to the body, which again, remember, the right brain processes through the 5 senses because there are nerves that go from the right brain that connect to the eyes, that connect to the nose, that literally connect to the tongue and connect to your ears and connect to your physical body. So if you learn how to describe things in a descriptive way using adjectives and adverbs, all of a sudden she's literally feeling, she's tasting, she's smelling what you're talking about. She's having the physical sensory experience. So if you learn how to describe things in a very flavorful way using 3 to 5 descriptive words, she's going to literally taste the flavor and it will drive her fucking nuts. And it turns her on sexually. This is why women love romance novels, because they don't go, it was a delicious, piping hot, steaming fucking bowl of stew. It'll say it was a warm, smooth, rich and creamy flavor. It's like sweet and sour with just the right touch of buttery flavor. It's a smooth, buttery, not butter flavor, it's buttery. So when you learn how to communicate, now even that word buttery, like, well, I don't get it. See, if you're in the left brain right now, this is going to make no fucking sense to you. You're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Now, if a woman was listening to this, she'd be like, oh God, okay, I'm gonna give a secret away. When women listen to my videos, they will call me, they will email me. I just wanted to talk. Yeah, because they want to hear that smooth, rich and creamy, warm, hot, but not too hot, buttery flavor just melting, splashing, exploding across your tongue in such a deep, rich, flavorful way, in a way that just deeply penetrates your taste buds, goes into your tongue. See, I'm talking about sex right now, guys. They literally was talking about fucking, and like orgasm in the mouth, and then it was the deep penetrating. That's fucking. Now I'm gonna get some guy. Is it okay if I use the word dumbass just for the fun of it? Just trying to be fun. So let me just say it. So I'm going to get some dumbass that's going to go directly up to a woman and is just immediately going to start saying rich, creamy, smooth, buttery flavor just melting, spreading across your tongue in a powerfully explosive way with the saltiness of the earth, blah, blah, blah. And she's going to fucking slap them. Heck, but Mike, you just said this turns women on. Yes, but here's the problem with women. You have to... There's levels. Level 1, you've got to be very classy. You've got to be very respectful. You can't even be sexual, even though you're using descriptive language. If you're being sexual, step 1, they're going to be like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You're fucking crude. So for now, all I'm going to do is give you the basics of describing things in a normal, everyday conversation that's not sexual. Okay, so here's what I mean. Because otherwise, she's going to get fucking pissed. So in the video before this, we talked about how the husband comes home, all he wants to do is get past that first question of how was your day, because this is where most men and women will start to fight. Now the first year, maybe 2, maybe even 3 years, she may not, but about the 1.5 year mark, she's kind of getting frustrated inside, like, why won't he fucking tell me? Like, what's going on? Is he hiding something? What's going on? So one thing I tell men is, like, you need to describe in detail how your day was. Like, you literally need to say, well, here's what I did, here's what happened, and this made me happy, and this actually kind of pissed me off. But you have to describe the emotions and the feelings inside your body in detail. And that's kind of that's actually a really big thing. It's called internal expression. Why? Because a woman can understand internal emotional expression. She can't understand the male way, the external. I had a good day. Like, what the fuck? Good day? What does that mean? That's called external. Let me give you a more everyday conversation. So let's say you went to a trip with your buddies, a fishing trip to Hawaii, let's say, or Florida. Let's just say Hawaii. So you come home, you were gone for 7 days or 14 days, and she's like, well, how was it? And you're, oh, it was great, it was amazing, oh, dude, we had the best fucking time, and you just, oh, Jim caught this awesome fish, it was a big fish, it, dude, just blew our minds, you're so amazing, you can't even imagine. And she's kind of looking at you like, yep, you're right, jackass, I can't imagine, because you're not describing it in detail with adjectives and adverbs using descriptive language. Remember, she's not there standing next to you. She wasn't on the fucking boat. She doesn't even know what color the boat is. You know why? Number 1, because she wasn't there. Number 2, because you didn't tell her. Sorry, I'm having a little too much fun with this. So you literally need to describe how long the boat is. See, this is descriptive. Well, it was 30 feet long, or it was 40 feet long. It was about 12 feet wide, or whatever, 15 feet wide, okay? And it had 2 layers. It had sorry, not layers, let's say levels. So it had 3 levels. It was like below the water. You walk down and you have to tell her how many steps. There's 3 steps or 4 steps that take you down, and there's like these 2 little doors. They're locked, and you have to lock it, open it, and then lock it, behind you. And you go down these steps, and you describe it's kind of dark down there. So if you want to take a nap, like there's like 4 windows all the way around. See, I'm describing the details, because how is she going to know there's fucking windows? Right? How is she going to know there's curtains if you don't tell her? How does she know if it's dark if you don't say that it's dark? See, hear, feel, smell, and taste. you might want to describe the saltiness, the sweet, salty flavor of the air. Like when you breathe it in, it's just this really refreshing, like look, sweet, salty, refreshing, cool, smooth. When you breathe in, it's like this cool, refreshing, smooth breath of fresh air. It energizes you. It's like an electric energy inside your lungs that expands into your entire bloodstream. And this electrical energy, it's like white fire. It burns, but in a really good way that gives you energy, and it spreads through every nerve, every fiber, and every muscle, and it just energizes you and it brings you to life. Are you starting to understand? So this is called internal communication or expression. The one concept men have a hard time understanding is that women are feeling what you're saying. So if you're speaking in a very logical, black and white tone of voice and very direct, it's like, dude, it's like she's in fucking science class. She goes, oh my God, you give me a headache. Now, once you learn how to do these patterns and you do it in real life and you notice women's eyes dilate, they reach out, they touch you, or they say, hey, they'll ask you out to dinner and they say, hey, it's on me. Don't worry about it. I want to pay. You didn't have to ask her out. You didn't have to see if she would, pay equal. Nothing. Women, I'm telling guys, it happens to me all the fuck. Honestly, I cannot remember the last time I paid for dinner. It's been years, and I mean years and years. Now, here's something I found out when working with a client. I'd heard it, and I used to do it myself. And when I learned from this client went, oh, I used to do that in high school and college when I first was trying to get laid, and it did work, but it causes a lot of pain. So here's the deal. I had this client that could not, at least he thought he could until we practiced, then he got a hang of it. He's like, oh, okay. So what happened was he would just describe like his injuries, all right? So he's talking about one time he met this woman and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I learned to tell a couple of stories. I'm like, okay. I go, why? He goes, because it always gets me their number and it always gets me laid. So he used to be a motorcycle rider, and he had crashed one time. He's way up in there, and he came down and he put his leg down and jammed his hip up. So he had to have hip surgery, hip replacement, etc. Another time he injured his knee. Now I'm going to talk about that story. So he would describe it like this. Now listen to the descriptive words. So he goes, I was explaining this to this woman in this way. We were in my living room. So we'd been on a few dates. And I said, it was just this like a 12-inch nail. It was about the thickness of your pinky. So 12-inch thickness, right, of your pinky. That's very descriptive. Now you know how long it is and how wide it is. It was like this red hot lava fiery burning sensation, like you had put the nail in a fire, just left it there for like an hour, and then it was just like someone shoved it through my knee. It was just this red hot fiery burning nail sensation, just burning all the way through the top of my kneecap, all the way through the back. Now you might be thinking, wait, that got him laid? Yeah, because she can see, hear, feel, smell, and taste that. He described the heat. He described the length. He described the width. He described the temperature. He didn't just say, oh, it really hurt my knee. And you're like, what hurt your knee? What are you talking about? What was it like? Can you give me an example? And remember, women are very symbolic. So it was from a knee injury from motorcycle racing. So it wasn't an actual nail that was driven through, but he used a nail to symbolically describe what the feeling felt like. Women, the female brain is very symbolic. It understands symbolic language. Unfortunately, the male brain, the left logical brain, it doesn't communicate symbolic language. So women literally looking like, why won't he express his emotions? Why won't he communicate to me? What's he hiding? See, when you guys don't communicate in depth, in detail, in descriptive languaging, they literally think you're lying to them and you're hiding, like you cheated on them. And this is why, number one, why women think men lie all the time. Because here's the fucked up part. You can tell the woman the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But if you do it in the male language, she thinks you're a fucking liar. She'll yell at you. She'll scream at you. She'll accuse you. She'll tell her family and girlfriends, oh, he's a liar. He's always hiding stuff and he's lying. Rawr. And you're like, I didn't fucking lie. And you didn't. You told her the truth. But you didn't say it in the female way. If you would have told it in the female way, she would have absolutely totally believed you. And here's the kicker. If you lie to a woman in the female way, in the female language, she will totally believe you're telling the truth. And if later on it's revealed that you lied, it doesn't matter because you said it in the female way, and that's all that matters. Obviously, I didn't describe the indirect symbolic way. I mean, there's a lot to add into this, but this is just one thing that I want you to understand. Just use adjectives and adverbs. So instead of, okay, let's use the pickup truck. So he'll say, I bought an awesome truck. Well, is it a big truck? Is it 4 doors? Is it 2 doors? Does it have a hatchback? Not a hatchback, but does it have like a cab? A woman will describe all that. All of those are descriptive details. She needs the details. If you don't describe the details, she's like, well, what kind of truck is it? What color is it? How tall is it? Is it low? Is it a low rider truck? Is it a tall truck? Is it a new truck? Is it like from the 90s? Is it a low rider? Like, you've got to tell her this. Otherwise, how in the fuck is she going to know if she's not standing in front of it? All right, so let's simplify it. It's real simple. A man will say, I got an awesome truck. Or let's say he uses one descriptive language. I bought a big, awesome truck. So one descriptive language. A woman will say, yeah, now number one, a big, bright, shiny, powerful, 4x4, lifted Ford CL 9000. That was an old semi-truck in the 90s, by the way, or the 80s actually. So count with your fingers. I'm going to start with my thumb. Big, powerful, shiny, smooth, cherry, red. So you can't just say red. You have to describe the color, even though the color is descriptive. When you describe the color, she's going, wow. So if you go, oh yeah, it's a red truck. No, it's a rich, creamy, cherry red truck. So you just use descriptive languaging to describe a descriptive word, red. This is how women communicate. If you don't believe me, start listening how they literally will describe. Now here's the thing. The male brain doesn't like this because this is a right brain communication. So you might be going, oh, this is boring. No, I'm telling you what, when you see your wife melt, when you see that girl that you met at the club and within 3 minutes gets turned on or just like touching you, or, oh, why don't we go across the street to the pizza joint and let's have a conversation. Whenever a woman says, let's have a conversation, let's talk, it means she likes it. Remember, what is connected to a woman's vagina and the clitoris and her nipples? Words. Words trigger and stimulate all of this stuff sexually. But you got to do mentally stimulating communication. And if you don't, you're pretty much screwed. Hey, this is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. If you want to save your marriage, meet the girl of your dreams, attract women, turn women on, and my most favorite word, seduce women, buy my book, Crack the Female Code, at crackthefemalecode.com. Alright guys, so if you got this far, you are a champion. I'm dead serious, man. I know these long videos, but they teach you a lot, and it will prep you for the course, Crack the Female Code. The book is the #1 thing you have to read. It is a requirement to take my course, Crack the Female Code. Remember, click subscribe, click the like button, make a comment, and go ahead and I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless you.